Will the circle be unbroken by and by and by? Is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky, in the joy.
The original Bioshock is a masterpiece of the generation. The sequel, while not as good, was a great follow-up that improved on the original's gameplay. The sequel is not made by Irrational Games, so it's not the true successor to the Bioshock name. Irrational is back with Bioshock Infinite, a game with huge shoes to fill. Does the game soar high along with the imaginative Columbia, or does it plunge into the depths, far beneath the fallen city of Rapture?
With him above, will the circle be unbroken by and by and by? Is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh.
The story in Bioshock Infinite is about a man named Booker DeWitt who is tasked with finding a girl named Elizabeth and bringing her from the flying city of Columbia to New York. The catch? The whole city is a city of racist, religious extremists who think DeWitt is the false shepherd. With them out to kill him, he will have his work cut out for him. The story is hard to really talk about without spoiling anything. I will say that it is similar to the original Bioshock, but it easily surpasses the original's narrative, though it can get way more confusing. The ending in the game is totally mind-blowing. It's a story that needs to be experienced by as many gamers as possible. Irrational has crafted another narrative masterpiece.
Be unbroken by and by, oh, by and by, is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky. Will the circle?
The gameplay is not much different from the original. You wield a gun in your right hand and a vigor, this game's plasmids, in your left. The gunplay has been improved and feels more up to date, but still lags behind most other shooters on the market. The vigors add some depth to the combat, doing various things to assist you in combat. There are only around 7 vigors and you'll use some more than others. You can beat the game without using them if you want, but using them adds some variety to the combat. A new addition to the game are the skylines, rails that spread out around Columbia. These skylines are used for transportation, but they are extremely useful in combat. The ability to zip around the battlefield adds another layer to the combat, and it is needed in some of the larger encounters. Other than combat, you'll be walking. There isn't much to do outside of kill people, and while it's fun, it'd be nice if there were other things to do. The original game had hacking, a little mini-game that was fun even if it was done too often. This game is nothing like that. You can find items referred to as gear that enhances your attacks or defenses, and it's pretty useful. Another mechanic is the tears. Once you get Elizabeth to join you, she can open portals to other worlds, which, while in combat, are things like health packs and ammo. She can also throw you ammo or health, making her a very useful ally. The vending machines and money make a comeback, and they serve mostly the same purpose. Now, instead of finding upgrade stations throughout the city like in the original, you purchase upgrades from special vending machines. The same applies to your vigors, which cost money now instead of a special currency. You can only hold 2 weapons now, which is a huge annoyance, and I found myself running out of ammo pretty quickly. The upgrades you purchase stay with your weapons even if you toss one away, which makes perfect sense, by the way. The gunplay is still enjoyable, but it's simple, not as advanced control-wise, and it can get repetitive, but you'll want to keep playing just to experience the story, which is reason enough to push on.
Hymns they taught you
The audio is pretty great. The combat is rousing music while the quiet moments have a sad sound. The voice work is fantastic, and as are the sound effects. A lot of the music has a patriotic theme to it. The voice work carries the whole story and makes it a worthwhile trip. Your ears will enjoy their trip to Colombia.
By and by is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky, in the joyous days of childhood, of fate's hope, of wondrous love.
Colombia is a beautiful place. The green grass and the trees blowing in the wind, the sun beaming down on the old-time buildings, the racists zipping along on the skylines trying to put a bullet between your eyes. The imagination behind the artwork is astounding, and Colombia is just as magical as Rapture, but in a beautifully beautiful way, unlike Rapture's sadly beautiful. The guns look great and different, and the special enemy designs are great. The character models look great when dealing with the main characters, but the minor characters look just alright. There isn't a whole lot of variety in locations, mostly buildings and streets, but that doesn't matter when what is here is so great looking. This game also has a different visual tone from the original. The original is more of a horror game, while this is much brighter in tone. The first impression you get of Colombia will stay in my mind for a long time.
You remember songs of heaven which you sang with childish voice. Do you love the hymns they taught you, or are songs of earth your choice? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, oh, by and by is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky.
Overall, Bioshock Infinite is much like the original game. Fantastic visuals, narrative, and voice work, but lacks in the gameplay department. That doesn't hold Infinite back, however. The story is just too good to pass up. If you can forgive some repetition and are looking for a fantastic narrative, Bioshock Infinite is for you. The story, visuals, and voice work all come together to overcome the faults and equal an amazing game. The imagination behind Colombia and the plot are not to be ignored and are what's missing in most games today. This is one for the Game of the Year polls, and I offer the Prophet of Colombia an 8.5 out of 10. Worship this game for the finer points.
Days of childhood, of fate's hope, of wondrous love, pointed to the dying Savior. Now they dwell with him above. Will the circle be unbroken by and by and by is a better